Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India News Hour, India's voice to the world with me, Deepika, coming up in the next 1 hour. India's global outreach on Operation Sindoor continues. All party delegations engage with key figures in multiple nations, highlighting India's continued fight against terrorism. On second day of Gujarat visit, Prime Minister Narendra Modi to participate in celebrations of 20 years of Gujarat Urban Growth story will inaugurate slew of developmental projects. India's financial centre Mumbai reels under heavy rain as city breaks 107-year rainfall record. Weather department warns of extremely heavy rainfall. Red alert issued for today. Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu vows to bring back all Gaza hostages, living and dead, as new truce deal proposed. And dozens injured after car plows into pedestrians during Liverpool Football Club parade. Police arrests a man, rules out terrorism. A very good morning to all our viewers joining us at this morning broadcast of DD India News Hour. To begin with the latest. In a significant diplomatic outreach, an all-party Indian delegation led by Shiv Sena MP Shrikant Shinde touched down in the heart of Africa, the Democratic Republic of Congo. On Monday, the delegation held crucial talks at the Congolese Senate and National Assembly, engaging with top officials to strengthen bilateral ties. The high point came with a meeting with Jean-Pierre Bemba Gombo, Congo's Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Transport. The delegation also held strategic discussions with Jean-Michel Sama Lukonde, who is the President of the Senate. An all-party parliamentary delegation led by JDU MP Sanjay Kumar Jha met with India's High Commissioner to Singapore, Ambassador Shilpak Ambule, on Tuesday, ahead of key engagements with Singaporean officials and institutions. As per the High Commission of India in Singapore, the delegation will interact with the ministers, parliamentarians, think tanks, academics, business leaders, media personnel and the Indian diaspora. The central aim of the visit is to express India's united stance and collective commitment against terrorism. The all-party delegation led by NCP-SCP MP Supriya Sule wrapped up its visit to Qatar, the first stop in a four-nation tour following the Pahalgam terror attacks and Operation Sindoor. In Doha, the delegation engaged with Qatari officials, including ministers and the Shura Council, as well as media, academics and the Indian community. They conveyed India's zero-tolerance policy on cross-border terrorism and highlighted the calibrated military response to Pahalgam attack. Qatar reaffirmed its own anti-terror stance and condemned the attack. Congress MP Manish Tiwari warned that any future terror attacks would provoke a direct and measured Indian response. BJP MP Rajiv Pratap Rudy emphasized India's message of preventive diplomacy. The delegation will continue its mission in South Africa next.
भारतीय मूल निवासी और भारतीय प्रवासी लोग जिस प्रकार से एक मत होकर के इस विषय पर साथ दिखे, ये अपने आप में भारतीय सरकार के लिए और एक बड़ा संवाद कि पाकिस्तान आतंकवादी देश है और पूरी दुनिया उस आतंकवाद के खिलाफ एकजुट है, इसका प्रमाण कतर में, दोहा में दिख रहा है। सबके मन में एक ही बात कि आतंकवाद का हम कतई समर्थन नहीं करेंगे। भारत के साथ गलत हुआ है और इसका निश्चित रूप से पूरी दुनिया को आगाह करने की जरूरत है कि पाकिस्तान की नीयत और जिस प्रकार से पाकिस्तान आतंकवाद को पनाह दे रहा है, ये पूरी दुनिया के लिए खतरा उत्पन्न कर सकता है।
The all-party delegation, led by Congress MP Shashi Tharoor, interacted with prominent members of the business community in Guyana. During their visit to the National Assembly, the all-party delegation participated in the signing of National Assembly's book in the Parliament of Guyana. On the diplomatic front, the delegation's leader in Guyana, Dr. Shashi Tharoor, addressed the community. In his address in Georgetown, Guyana, Shashi Tharoor stated that Pakistan continues to deny its involvement in attacks on India despite evidence from both Indian sources and top international organizations. He further urged the world to stand with India in its fight against cross-border terrorism.
As far as Pakistan's denials are concerned, we've seen this movie before. I mean, there have been sadly attack after attack on India, every one of which was denied by Pakistan and every one of which was then found not just by Indian sources but by objective and often international investigations. We have denials all the time and they always turn out to be lies. And this is why it has become extremely difficult for us to take Pakistani denials. We are determined to convey our steely determination and resolve. And we want the world to react also not with fear, but also not with indifference. We want the world to understand. And we want the world to understand why and what. Why is because we've been enduring terrorist attacks for nearly 4 decades. And what is that we are going to respond in a measured, calibrated, precise manner to ensure that no act of terrorism goes unpunished.
After concluding its Bahrain visit, the all-party delegation led by Bajayant Jayapanda arrived in Kuwait as part of a diplomatic mission to reinforce India's zero-tolerance stance on terrorism. The delegation engaged in India's response to the 22nd of April Pahalgam terror attack and its broader fight against cross-border terrorism. In his interaction with the Indian diaspora in Kuwait, IMIM MP Asaduddin OIC, who is also part of the delegation, urged Pakistan's return to the FATF trade list and called for tighter financial scrutiny, warning that the $2 billion IMF loan could support its military and terror groups.
Pakistan must be brought back in FATF grey list. Now, what is the importance of FATF grey list? That there will be huge scrutiny on that nation when you do money transactions. And it is a fact that Pakistan uses Middle East, hawala or money laundering, to sponsor terrorist groups against India. So bringing Pakistan in FATF is very important because our apprehension is that this $2 billion loan which IMF is giving, that will be used by Pakistani military. And it is a known fact, whenever this loan is given, it goes to all the, core commanders of Pakistan Army.
The delegation of Indian parliamentarians held fruitful discussions with various stakeholders in Slovenia. DD India correspondent Debyendu Mondal has filed this dispatch from Slovenia about the talks. Take a listen.
Party delegation that is visiting Slovenia at the moment, of course, had a very extensive, successful talks yesterday with several important, stakeholders here in the government of Slovenia, including the parliamentarians of Slovenia, including the National Security Advisor in the Prime Minister's office, as well as the Secretary General in the Foreign Minister's office, have spoken to the parliamentary delegation here who is visiting from India, of course, taking the message of India that, how India has faced terrorism over the last many decades from Pakistan, and Pakistan-sponsored terrorism has been, one of the key, Operation Sindoor and Pakistan-sponsored terrorism has been one of the key on the agendas that the parliamentary delegation did speak about with both the National Security Advisor to the Prime Minister here in Slovenia and also to the Secretary General in the Foreign Ministry office here in Slovenia. The talks have been extensively successful, and what we understand is that Slovenian officials and the government officials that this parliamentary delegation did speak to have extensively supported the government of India's stand on terrorism and has unequivocally condemned the terror attack on the Indian soil. And of course they have said that they will be and in fact reassured that they stand by India, they stand against terrorism, they do stand against the terrorism, and of course the global terrorism is also something that has been spoken about in the meeting. The officials, the parliamentary delegation here did present with a dossier that has given details of the terror hideout camps that have been in Pakistan, and how the government in Pakistan, including the military establishment as well as the political establishment, has supported the terror networks on the soil of Pakistan. And that is extremely important to note for the international community, that this has been one of the key tactics of Pakistan to raise a proxy war, and this message from India has been clearly delivered to the Slovenian counterparts here. And both, what we understand of course is also the fact that the Slovenian government officials, bureaucrats, as well as think tanks that have interacted with the parliamentary delegation did express their support for India, and also did say that terrorism has become a cancer to the globe, and it is like a cancer that needs to be treated right at the root for making the society a better society to live in. And of course, peace is something that is paramount for the global society and as well as for India. But as India, has made it clear that terror and talks, terror and trade, and cannot go hand in hand. And of course, the fact that blood and water cannot flow together, and this the Prime Minister has made it categorically clear that there will be no talks with Pakistan until and unless they take decisive steps to hand over terrorists that have been raising a proxy war on the soil of India. And of course, this has been also conveyed to the Slovenian counterparts that the delegation, the all-party parliamentary delegation, did meet here. And of course, this is going to go a long way in building a much more friendly, healthy relationship between Slovenia and India. And remember, Slovenia is also a permanent, in fact, I beg your pardon, a non-permanent member in the UNSC. So therefore, their support both in the EU as well as in the UN will go a long way to put out a message against Pakistan and its proxy terrorism, as well as the harboring of terrorism in Pakistan is concerned.
Debbie, the bundle further fills us in on what is the importance of the visit to Slovenia and the schedule of the delegation led by DMK MP Kanimodi Karunanidhi.
An important part, of course, is the fact that India's message is clear, that in Operation Sindoor we have made precision strikes on especially the terror hideouts and the terror training camps that had been on the soil of Pakistan. So therefore, this visit is absolutely significant, because it raises the very point that how Pakistan as a state has been sponsoring terrorism, and we have been time and again stating that Pakistan has been sponsoring the state-sponsored terrorism that Pakistan has been carrying out against India, raging a proxy war. And this stand the international community, and not just this delegation, the delegation that is moving around in different parts of the world, have made it amply clear to all the nations that it is visiting, that these similar delegation is visiting, that Pakistan and their nefarious design of waging a proxy war against India is being exposed to the international community. And this and of course this will bring out a clear message. And as far as today's commitments for the parliamentary delegation is concerned, is of course they are going to this National Assembly once again to meet with the President of the National Council later this morning, and also of course they will be meeting with an important delegation in the noon, after which the delegation would be moving to Greece for further engagements from here on. And of course, the message once again from India is loud and clear as they reach out to multiple nations across the world, that India is committed to weed out terrorism, and the world needs to stand united and support India against terror and terrorist activities. And of course, terrorism is just not a problem of India, but also the problem of the globe.
And in continuance of India's sustained fight against terrorism, Member of the Parliament Kanimodi Karunanidhi spoke to DD India on the importance of the delegation visit. Take a listen.
The delegation that had arrived in Slovenia yesterday have had fruitful meetings throughout the day. And I'm joined by the leader and DMK MP, Kanimodi ma'am. Welcome to Doordarshan. And you have had a series of meetings with important government officials throughout the day, as well as in the National Assembly. Yes. What has been the outcome of those meetings so far?
It's been very positive, and we have explained what has been happening about the terrorist attacks in India, just not Pahalgam, but before that, and what India has been facing. In spite of India trying to reach out and trying to resolve the conflict for decades. And I think we have made ourselves very clear, and the stand of India very clear, that we will not tolerate terrorism in any form, whether it is terrorist groups or state sponsored terrorism. And we also look for the understanding of our important partners. And countries like Slovenia, which play an important part in the United Nations Security Council, they have condemned the Pahalgam attack in no uncertain terms, and we go back with a very positive sense that they will stand by India in our fight against terrorism, and our Prime Minister and India has made it very clear that there is no more tolerance, for terrorism shrouded under different names, and nothing will make us back down.
Right. Also, Slovenia is a non-permanent member in the UNSC. It's part of the EU. Both are very important for India, and of course, making a point, something like terrorism. How do you think, the Slovenian government or the officials that you have met could play a role in the UNSC taking up India's voice against terrorism?
Yeah, they are. This year, I think Slovenia will be playing a very important role in the United Nations Security Council. So, when the discussions come up, we want them to, they are also very concerned about these terrorist attacks. So we want accountability. India wants accountability, and I think they will stand with us, as they've already said very clearly that they will ensure that there is accountability.
Right. Thank you so much, ma'am. And of course, the Slovenian government did talk to the delegation about how they are going to cooperate with India when it comes to terrorism, and how terrorism as a global evil should be stopped in all forms across the world. With camera person Shailendra Chauhan, this is Divyendu Mondal from Slovenia for DT India.
The All India Party delegation led by BJP MP Ravi Shankar Prasad met French think tank members in Paris. Leaders called the meeting fruitful, stressing on the importance of engaging with opinion makers abroad.
All party delegation arrived in Paris last evening, and since morning they have been on mission against terrorism to deliver a strong message to the French government and people of France.
The focus of our mission is the world needs to unite. Terrorism is a global curse. The whole world needs to speak in one voice. I'm in Paris now. The terrorists have struck Paris or not? They have struck Marseille or not? They have hit the London tube or not? They have hit Belgium or not? 9/11, New York or not? So this is the whole scenario.
They first met with an Indian ambassador to France, Mr. Sanjeev Singla. After that, they had a meeting with the members of a French think tank to convey India's message regarding terrorism. The delegation presented concrete evidence to expose Pakistan's lies and false claims. The meeting with the think tank is considered one of the most important parts of this mission, as think tanks play a key role in shaping government policies and influencing people's opinion. As the delegation members put it, if you want to prove your point, convincing a country's think tank is a crucial. According to the delegation, the meeting was very fruitful. India was able to present all the necessary evidence and firmly convey its strong message against terrorism. This is Rohini Gosavi in Paris for DD India.
All right, the news that is just coming in a significant push towards enhancing India's indigenous defense capabilities and fostering a robust domestic aerospace industrial ecosystem, Defense Minister Rajnath Singh has approved the Advanced Medium Combat Aircraft Program Execution Model. Aeronautical Development Agency is all set to execute the program through industry partnership. Well, this is an important step towards harnessing the indigenous expertise, capability and capacity to develop the AMCA prototype, which will be a major milestone towards Atmanirbharta or self-reliance in the aerospace sector of India. And this also comes as a major push to India's defense capabilities. It is a fifth generational aircraft that India will be getting. Earlier, the process was made to a fast track mode, and now finally the approval has been moved by Defence Minister Rajnath Singh, as he has approved the model, which comes as a major push to India's defence capabilities. It is a robust domestic aerospace industrial ecosystem and also a very important step towards harnessing the defence sector of India, and especially when we talk about India's vision of becoming fully Atmanirbhar or self-reliant. There are other major milestones which the defence sector has already achieved, and this also comes as another milestone to India's hat. And now to discuss more on this, I'm joined by DD India correspondent Ravi Dhiman, who joins us on the phone line. Good morning, Ravi. Tell us about the significance of this program model and how does that strengthen India's vision of becoming self-reliant or Atmanirbhar?
Well, this is an important step towards making the fifth generation stealth fighter plane that India desperately needs now, given the current security scenario in the immediate neighborhood. And, the battle for air supremacy is changing with every day. With every battle, the air superiority challenges are mounting, and more countries are now devoting their time and energy and resources on developing the fifth generation, that is stealth fighter planes, which are invisible to the normal radar. Their signatures are not caught on the normal radar. India has also initiated an ambitious program of AMCA, that is the Advanced Medium Combat Aircraft. This is a fifth generation fighter aircraft that will be developed in India totally indigenously. And to give it a further fillip to the program, this approval of the program execution model has been given by the Raksha Mantri. And that necessarily means that India will now devote all resources at its disposal to develop AMCA. The execution model now will provide opportunities to both the public sector companies which have experience in aeronautical engineering, as well as private sector firms who can contribute towards the development of this crucial fighter plane for the Indian Air Force, Indian Armed Forces. So basically, the government has opened the doors for the private sector as well to come and compete towards making of this very crucial aircraft for the Indian Air Force. And they can, bid either independently or they can bid together with the public sector company or as a consortia. So this is an important step in involving the private sector, harnessing the technical and the technological talent that India has to its potential, and basically tapping the potential to ensure that India remains ahead of the adversaries as far as air superiority is concerned. This project is very crucial to maintain India's air superiority in the immediate neighborhood.
And also, when we talk about the collaboration with the industrial sector, how is it going to help economically, because India has already become the fourth largest economy so far?
You see, Deepika, if we turn around and look back 10 years under Prime Minister Narendra Modi, the defense sector has flourished in India. The domestic defense sector was given a fillip. It was prioritized in the scheme of things. And we have seen defense industrial corridors coming up and flourishing in two states, in Tamil Nadu and Uttar Pradesh. And the focus has been consistently on homegrown technology, on homegrown products, defense products, which not only save the crucial foreign exchange, but also give, rise to competitive industries, domestic industries. They give rise to employment. And then not only direct employment through the factories, but indirect employment through the supply chains, which have a domino effect on the entire local and macro economy. So that way, this approval of the program execution model will provide further fillip to Indian startups, Indian aeronautical companies, budding companies, private firms and startups who have the technological edge and potential to contribute to AMCA, and it will go a long way in propelling the Indian aeronautical industry further.
All right, thank you so much for joining us and bringing us the latest information on this. Moving on. India's Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri will visit the US on Tuesday as a follow-up to Prime Minister Narendra Modi's trip to Washington in the month of February, when both the sides had launched the India-US Compact, which means catalyzing opportunities for military partnership, accelerated commerce and technology for the 21st century. The trip will be an opportunity for the Indian side to engage with key interlocutors in the US. India and the US are currently engaged in negotiations for a bilateral trade agreement to address issues such as market access, non-tariff barriers and supply chains. India and Maldives explored ways to boost trade and strategic cooperation, even as Maldivian Foreign Minister Abdullah Khalil backed New Delhi's fight against terrorism. On his three-day visit to India, Maldivian Foreign Minister Abdullah Khalil met External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar in New Delhi, wherein both the sides discussed issues of mutual interest. The visiting minister, accompanied by a high-level delegation, attended the second India-Maldives high-level core group meeting to oversee progress in the implementation of the India-Maldives Vision document on comprehensive economic and maritime security partnership. During the meeting, discussions focused on implementation of the joint vision by intensifying political exchanges, defense and security cooperation, development partnership, trade, economy, health and people-to-people linkages. Foreign Minister Dr. Khalil also thanked the Government of India for timely emergency financial assistance extended to Maldives, which has made a positive impact on everyday life of Maldivians. India's Union Minister Gajendra Singh Shekhawat addressed the BRICS Culture Ministers meeting in Brazil, emphasizing India's commitment to cultural cooperation based on justice, innovation and heritage. In his keynote address, Shekhawat highlighted the creative economy as a strategic interface between culture, innovation and commerce, vital for the GDP, employment and digital skill development. Shekhawat also said that India's cultural vision of Vikas Bhi, Virasat Bhi reflects the nation's belief that development and heritage must advance together. India, under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, is committed to building a resilient BRICS cultural ecosystem rooted in shared values and human dignity. Now, on the second day of his Gujarat visit, Prime Minister Narendra Modi is participating in the celebrations of 20 years of Gujarat Urban Growth story. Urban Development Year 2005 in Gujarat was a flagship initiative launched when Prime Minister Narendra Modi was the Chief Minister of the state. It was initiated with the aim of transforming Gujarat's urban landscape through planned infrastructure, better governance and improved quality of life for urban residents. And now, marking 20 years of Urban Development Year 2005, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will launch the Urban Development Year 2025, Gujarat's Urban Development Plan and State Clean Air Programme in Gandhinagar. He will also inaugurate and lay the foundation stone for multiple projects related to urban development, health and water supply. He will also dedicate more than 22,000 dwelling units under Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana. He will also release funds of 3,300 crore rupees to urban local bodies in Gujarat under Swarnim Jayanti Mukhyamantri Shaheri Vikas Yojana. And Union Minister of Communications Jyotiraditya Scindia launched the theme of India Mobile Congress IMC 25 in Delhi on Monday. Innovate to transform. The theme aims to provide a platform to the domestic industry and for the global investors to see the capabilities India has garnered in the last 1 decade. The minister also launched the Sanchar Mitra scheme and also conferred the Deen Dayal Upadhyay Telecom Excellence Award for the year 2024. Later, speaking to the media, the minister said that India has its eyes on the global competition for 6G spectrum.
The protocols for 6G are what is under discussion today at the ITU level. that will take its time. At the World Radio Communications Conference in 2027, those protocols will be finalized. It is our hope that when those protocols are finalized, which will include the number of patents that are filed, 10% of those patents will accrue to India. We are already among the top 6 countries in the world that are filing for patents for 6G. And India will play a very seminal role in the definition of those protocols. We have already filed for 2 issues which have been accepted. One is ubiquitous connectivity, and the other is in terms of equity of connectivity. So we've already achieved those 2 landmarks in addition to the patent filing.
Now, containers from the Liberian cargo ship that sank off the coast of Kerala on Sunday have begun washing up on shore. In response to the incident, the state has declared an emergency to address the risk of an oil spill or chemical leak. With the Indian Coast Guard and Navy on high alert, the public has been asked to stay away from the coast and not touch foreign objects as the state monitors the high-pressure situation. Earlier, the Indian Coast Guard stated that the vessel was carrying 640 containers, including 13 containing hazardous cargo and 12 with calcium carbide. India's northeast region embraces for more southwest monsoon as light and moderate rainfalls with gusty winds and thunderstorm occurred in Mizoram, Tripura, Manipur, Nagaland, Arunachal Pradesh and some parts of Assam and Meghalaya. As per IMD, isolated heavy rainfall is likely in Arunachal Pradesh, Assam, Meghalaya, Mizoram and Manipur from the 27th of June till the 1st of May. IMD has also issued yellow alert for several places in Assam. In response to the flood-related risk, the state administration has activated its emergency response systems with multiple ministers visiting flood and erosion-prone areas to assess the situation. On the other hand, heavy rain lashed Maharashtra's capital city of Mumbai on Monday. The city recorded its highest rainfall in 107 years on the first day of monsoon. As per the IMD, monsoon has arrived in the city 16 days earlier than usual. IMD upgraded Mumbai's weather alert from orange to red for Tuesday, warning of extremely heavy rainfall in parts of Mumbai, Thane and Raigad. The city has recorded its earliest monsoon in 75 years. Along with the warning in Mumbai, the IMD has also issued alerts for southern states of Karnataka, Kerala and parts of Tamil Nadu. Heavy rainfall on Sunday night and early Monday has also led to severe waterlogging in parts of Mumbai, disrupting traffic and flights and railway operations. Moving on, in a tragic event, 7 members of a family from Dehradun committed suicide in Haryana's Panchkula. The victims were identified as 42 years old Praveen Mittal along with his parents, wife, 2 daughters and a son. All 7 bodies were found inside a locked car parked on the roadside outside a house in Sector 27. According to the police, the family appeared to be under immense financial pressure which could have driven them to suicide. The police also recovered a suicide note from the spot. As per the preliminary investigation, the family consumed poison in a suspected case of mass suicide. According to information received from sources, Praveen Mittal had come to attend the Hanuman Katha program of Bageshwar Dham, organized in Panchkula along with his family. The incident took place on Sunday while the family was returning to Dehradun after the event ended. We are heading for a short break. We'll be right back.
Complex issues, hidden agendas, twists and turns, strategic games. We think all dots are linked. We just need to connect them. Join me every week as I connect the dots to unravel hidden designs in statecraft, mysteries, and decode issues that matter to you. Watch Connecting the Dots with me at these times on DD India.
Welcome back after that short break. You're watching DD India News Hour. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu on Monday has vowed to bring back all hostages held in Gaza, living and dead, as a new truce deal proposal. Speaking in the official state ceremony marking 58 years since 1967, war at Ammunition Hill, Netanyahu said, "If we don't achieve it today, we will achieve it tomorrow, as we are not letting go of it," quote unquote. Netanyahu stated that Israel is open to a temporary ceasefire only if it leads to the release of hostages, emphasizing that the conflict will continue until Hamas is completely eliminated.
Hamas is stubborn. It is defiant, as the American representative Witkoff said this evening. That's true. We are not letting go. We have so far brought back 148 hostages alive. There are still 20 who are definitely alive and others who are not. We intend to bring them all back, the living and the fallen alike.
A US-supported organization responsible for delivering aid to Gaza announced that it began its efforts on Monday. The Gaza Humanitarian Foundation said in a statement that it commenced operations in Gaza, delivering truckloads of food to its secure distribution sites, where distribution to the Gazan people began. With severe food shortages caused by an almost 3-month blockade, Washington claims it is trying to re-establish a ceasefire more than 19 months into the conflict, though little progress has been made. A nearly 3-month total blockade on Gaza has only begun to ease in recent days amid warnings of looming famine. We'll also get you more details on what the truce and the deal speaks about. But for now, the aid into Gaza remains a point of contention because WHO has also raised concerns about the famine conditions there in Gaza and what it may lead to if timely aid is not delivered into Gaza. Hence, a truce deal is being really looked up to with a lot of hope. And to get you more on this, I'm joined by DD India correspondent Akshay Dongre. Akshay, tell us more about the truce plan and what more it offers to both the sides.
Well, Deepika, as far as the truce conditions are concerned or the possibility of a truce, it has been, there have been repeated attempts as far as implementation of a truce is concerned between Hamas and the Israeli armed forces. Several times the ceasefire has been implemented, several times truce have been brought in, but it has not shifted anything significant as far as the condition of the people who are living in Gaza are concerned. Palestinians, as far as the Gaza Strip is concerned, are living in very, very bad conditions. People are dying in the action that Israeli armed forces are taking against Hamas. So, while there are hopes that the hostages will be returned, while there are hopes that there will be some kind of truce, but the situation, despite the travesty and the cost of human life that we are seeing in Gaza Strip, despite all of that, our truce seems a very, very difficult option. Especially, there were signs coming in that several countries, especially allies of Israel, have pushed it to a ceasefire, to a truce. But we have seen the recent attacks that have taken place, anti-Semitic attack that has taken place in the US against the Israeli diplomats, and that has once again, flared up tensions as far as the Arab versus Israelis are the entire tension is concerned. So the situation remains grim. People are losing lives. Palestinians are paying a huge cost for everything that has happened since 7th October and even before that. So the situation, while remains grim, the Israeli military seems to be in no mood as far as the truce is concerned till the time hostages are returned. The Israeli Prime Minister has said that the hostages will be brought back. Every single of them will be brought back, be it alive or even if they have died, their bodies will be brought back. Their mortal remains will be brought back to Israel. And also the Israeli military seems to be having a plan of taking over about 75% of Gaza Strip. And shifting the population of Gaza into the rest of the 25% of the land of the Gaza Strip. So, the entire population will be living in the 1/4 of the area where they were earlier living. So the situation remains tense, and under these conditions, it seems that even Hamas will be in no mood to return the hostages or to bring any kind of truce, especially with both sides escalating the tensions that have been going on. And amid all of this, while people are paying the price, aid is also just trickling in. You know, the medical supplies have gone.
Right.
They are over. Food is in very short supply. Water, sanitation. So all of these things are showcasing that the devastation that the people of Gaza Strip are going through.
All right. Thank you so much, Akshay, for joining us and bringing us the latest. Now, tension surged on Ukraine's northern front as Russian forces captured 4 villages in the Sumy region, according to Governor of Ukraine's Sumy region. The move, aimed at establishing a buffer zone inside Ukrainian territory, marks a new escalation along the border with Russia's Kursk region. The seized villages Novenke, Basivska, Vasilivka and Zuravka had already been evacuated, but fighting rages near Volodymyrivka and Bilivodov, where Russia also claims control. Ukrainian forces continue targeted strikes to continue the advance. Russian President Vladimir Putin met with Turkish Foreign Minister Hakan Fidan at the Kremlin on Monday, with Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov also present. According to Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov, earlier on Monday said that the main topic of talks in Moscow with Turkish Foreign Minister will be bilateral relations, but Ukraine will also be discussed. Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov on Monday warned that any European move to provide Ukraine with long-range missile capabilities would mark a dangerous escalation. The statement followed German Chancellor Friedrich Merz's remarks suggesting no range restrictions on weapons sent to Kyiv, though Berlin later clarified this did not signal a policy shift. The potential for Ukraine to strike targets deep inside Russia has sparked alarm in Moscow. Peskov condemned such decisions as undermining hopes for a political resolution and warned of serious consequences. While Germany reaffirmed its commitment to military support for Ukraine, the implications of advanced weaponry reaching Ukrainian forces have raised fears of widening the conflict and further derailing diplomatic efforts towards ending the conflict. North Korea has slammed US President Donald Trump's Golden Dome missile shield plan as a very dangerous threat that aims to weaponize space. Pyongyang's foreign ministry has issued a memorandum calling the system a very dangerous threatening initiative aimed at threatening the strategic security of the nuclear weapon states. Trump announced new details and initial funding for the missile shield system last week, calling it a very important one for the success and even survival of the country. Washington, Seoul's key security ally, has in recent years ramped up joint military exercises and increased the presence of strategic U.S. assets such as an aircraft carrier and a nuclear-powered submarine in the region to deter the North. Pyongyang has repeatedly declared itself as an irreversible nuclear weapon state and routinely denounces joint U.S.-South Korea drills as rehearsals for invasion. Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian declared that Iran would be able to survive if negotiations with the US over its nuclear program failed to secure a deal. Despite US President Donald Trump calling the latest round very good, tensions remain high. The talks aim to prevent Iran from developing nuclear weapons, with Washington threatening harsh sanctions and possible military action if no deal is struck. Iran insists its nuclear program is peaceful and seeks relief from crippling sanctions. After 5 rounds in Rome, key disputes, especially over uranium enrichment, remain unresolved. Tehran flatly rejected freezing enrichment or accepting an interim deal. Awaiting Oman's update for the next round, Iran warns progress hinges on genuine US goodwill and not imposed restrictions. Moving on, a car crashed into a crowd of Liverpool fans celebrating the team's Premier League title victory, injuring at least 27 people. The incident occurred on Water Street shortly after the team's victory bus passed through the area. Tens of thousands of people had turned out in torrential rain for what should have been jubilant celebrations to see the North West English side's victory parade. Some 27 football fans were hospitalized, including 2 who were seriously injured after a dark-colored vehicle swerved through the huge crowd, setting people in its path minutes after the players' open-top bus passed by. 4 children were among those hurt, including 1 with a serious injury. Merseyside police has arrested a 53-year-old local man in connection with the incident, whom they believe to be the driver of the vehicle, which struck a large group of supporters who were celebrating in the city of northwest England.
The car stopped at the scene and a 53-year-old white British man from the Liverpool area was arrested. We believe him to be the driver of the vehicle. Extensive inquiries are ongoing to establish the circumstances leading up to the collision, and it is vital that people do not speculate or spread misinformation on social media.
The police also confirmed that the incident is not being treated as an act of terrorism.
I know that people will understandably be concerned by what has happened tonight. What I can tell you is that we believe this to be an isolated incident, and we are not currently looking for anyone else in relation to it. The incident is not being treated as terrorism.
British Prime Minister Keir Starmer condemned the incident in Liverpool, where a car crashed into a crowd celebrating the city's Premier League title victory, calling the scenes appalling. British Prime Minister expressed his thoughts for those injured and affected, while thanking the police and emergency services for their swift response. Liverpool FC, Everton FC and Liverpool's Metro Mayor Steve Rotherham also expressed their support and condolences following a car incident during the Premier League title celebration parade. French Prime Minister Francois Bayrou announced a series of measures to address the challenges facing France's seas and oceans. During a speech on the deck of a French Navy supply tanker in Saint-Nazaire, Bayrou said a series of measures include a €90 million program to reduce carbon emissions in the maritime industry and a strategy to combat and control algae growth. Time to take a short break, but still to come on the other side. Argentina unveils first sale of peso-denominated debt in nearly a decade. Nepal's Kamirita climbs Mount Everest for record 31st time, breaks his own previous record. And up next, we'll get you visuals of thrill seekers chasing cheese in UK hill race.
Geopolitics and trade deals. Economic challenges amid development. Hard work and the path to prosperity. It's the economy, always. Between walkers, money is what money does and says. Supply creates its own demand. Between the bulls pulls and bears tears. When supply chains globalization and India rises to the podium. We'll get you centered with the Economic Brief at 8 p.m. every Thursday on DD India.
Welcome back after that short break. You're watching DD India News Hour. Now let's get you updates from the world of business. Argentina unveiled the first sale of peso-denominated debt in nearly a decade in a high-stakes test of international investor confidence under budget-slashing President Javier Milei. The auction on Wednesday will be for a maximum of $1 billion, the government said, as the South American country seeks to boost foreign reserves to meet IMF loan requirements. Last month, Argentina received an initial $12 billion from a new $20 billion loan agreed by the IMF. The injection from the IMF and others is crucial for replenishing Argentina's meager foreign reserves, reviving growth and tackling inflation. And now let's get you all the latest sporting action. To begin with shooting, India's Tejaswini bagged gold medal in women's 25-meter pistol event on the final day of the International Shooting Sport Federation Junior World Cup. This victory is all set to help India clinch the top spot in the medal standings ahead of fellow powerhouses like China. Indian team have bagged 3 gold medals and 11 overall medals in the Junior World Cup. India have now topped 4 of the last 5 ISSF junior competitions, including the previous combined World Cup in 2023. In cricket, at the ongoing IPL season, Punjab Kings secured a top 2 finish and a qualifier of 1 berth with a superbly executed run chase to secure a 7-wicket victory over Mumbai Indians in IPL on Monday. In what was a winner-take-it-all contest, Punjab chased down a total of 185 with 1.3 overs to spare as Josh Inglis made 73 and Priyansharya slammed 62. This was the first time in 11 years that Punjab has finished in the top 2 of the IPL season. Earlier, Surya Kumar Yadav had top scored with 57 to take Mumbai to 184 for a loss of 7 wickets in 20 overs. With this victory, Punjab Kings rose to the top of the points table and will play qualifier 1 at home in Mulanpur. Famed Nepalese Sherpa guide Kamirita has scaled Mount Everest for the 31st time, breaking his own record for the most successful ascents of the world's highest peak. According to the expedition organizer, Minkma Sherpa, Kamirita stood atop the 8,849-meter summit at around 4 a.m. on Tuesday under stable weather conditions. The 55-year-old was guiding a team of the Indian Army Adventure Wing Everest expedition led by Lieutenant Colonel Manoj Joshi. Kamirita also scaled K2 and Mount Lhotse 1 time, Manuslu thrice and Cho-Oyo 8 times between 1994 to 2025. And now let's move on to updates from the ongoing French Open Grand Slam. Yannick Sinner navigated mild turbulence for a winning return to Grand Slam tennis as the world #1 launched his hunt for a maiden French Open trophy with a 6-4, 6-3, 7-5 first-round victory over Arthur on Monday. Carlos Alcaraz produced his usual mix of poise, pace and power to see off Italian qualifier by 6-3, 6-4 and 6-2 to make it to the second round of the French Open. American 4th seed Taylor Fritz crashed out of the French Open on Monday after a 7-5, 3-6, 6-3, 6-1 loss to Germany's Daniel Altmaier. Meanwhile, women's defending champion Iga Swiatek cruised past Slovakia's Rebecca Stromkova by 6-3 and 6-3 to enter the second round. Swiatek has launched her quest for a record 4th straight women's title. In a spectacular show of strength and skill, India's Mahendra Gurjar has made the nation proud by setting a new world record in men's para-javelin F42 category. Competing at the Northville World Para-Athletics Grand Prix in Switzerland, the 27-year-old para-athlete threw a stunning 61.17 meters. He smashed the previous world record of 59.19 meters set by Brazil's Roberto Floriani Edilson back in 2022. With this historic throw, Gurjar not only clinched the gold medal, but also etched his name into the global athletics record books.
Yes, here. Yes, here. Yes, here. Yes, here.
And before we let you go, it's now time to bring you some delightful visuals. Every year on Cooper's Hill in England, people race down a steep hill chasing a rolling wheel of cheese. It's fast, fun and full of excitement. Let's take a look at this year's cheese rolling event. And that's all for this edition of DD India News Hour. But do let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code on the screen to download it right now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks in on DD India. I'm Deepika, and from all of us here in New Delhi, thank you so much for watching DD India News Hour. Namaskar.